All right, good morning, everyone. It is, let's see, 8:44 in the morning of December 17th, 2021, and this is my pre-market strategy session. So today, so I like to trade on the long side. I like to trade when stocks are going up. There's a lot of money to be made on the downside. Today is probably going to be another red day, I imagine, on the markets. Actually, let me pull them up here real quick. We'll take a look at that first. Let's go VIX, and then we'll go Bitcoin. Okay, and I'll bring it down. Here we go. Okay, so the SPY, if the SPY opened up right now, it would open up at $462.17, which is 0.92% decrease from yesterday's close, and yeah, it's looking like it's trying to correct. Now, I'm actually not bearish on this. I think there is a trade to be made pretty close to this area. Let's see here. So this is the 2-hour chart, and here you can see we have this big breakup candle right here, this big run up that happened on the 15th. Was that Wednesday? And here's the bottom of that candle. If we start closing on an hourly basis, or say on a half-hour basis below 460.74, then I get pretty bearish. I think that we'd probably come down to explore, I don't know, the mid 450s, I imagine, here. And I think it would be, if the market goes down that far, I think it would be a screaming buying opportunity to buy the dip. And it's like, let's say it goes down to 454. That's a 4.5% dip. And I think you'd have people entering in to buy at that point like crazy. Let's see, it paid dividends. Okay. And so, yeah. All right. Well, so I'm not bearish on it yet. If it closes below this 460.74, though, on a half-hour basis, I'll be looking to go, I'll look forward to shorting the SPY into the close today. The VIX is elevated, but you know what? The VIX is still, so here's this gap. Let me pull up the daily on the VIX. The dotted white lines, or the dashed white lines here, represent the gap that was formed in February of 2020. And I'll just go back to it here. Let's just go back and take a look at it real quick. Here is February, let's see, February 21st, there's February 24th, and it gapped up. And so the bottom of the gap is 18.21, and the top of the gap is 22 even. And it's just, it's been significant, since the gap was formed here. We have a test to the top of the gap, couldn't break down, so there was more volatility. Then this 24.76 level just kind of popped up. It just seems kind of like a level where things are happening. Then here in this area in the December of 2020, a year ago now, it dropped into the gap and couldn't drop to the bottom to test. And so then, there was a spike in volatility up, and it just kind of hovered around, the top of the gap and spiked up and stuff, and then couldn't break through it, and then spiked up again. And then finally, it couldn't break through it again, and finally it breaks down and starts going and breaking down below the bottom of the gap. Now, I expected that once it got below the gap and closed below the gap, I didn't expect to see really volatility spikes that went much higher really than this 25 mark, which I guess is somewhat true, since it did spike up above it and then just kind of come back down. And so then, here's this support line down here, this red line, and one test, two tests, three tests. So I was waiting for it to close down below it and to really start to explore the bottom portion of the VIX. The really, when it gets really bullish, the VIX closes. It has numbers down in the 11s and 12s and stuff. It's not happening. The market is bullish, but it's not that bullish. Kind of interesting. And then again here, we have some more activity around, the below that support line, actually got a close below it, but then the VIX didn't come down to explore down beneath it. And so here we have a spike in volatility again, and it's come up to just above, right now it's at 22.06, so it's just above the top of the gap. Will we see more volatility here? Well, certainly it's possible. Right now, the risk range on the VIX, the top end of the risk range on the VIX is 25.97, and the bottom end of the risk range on the VIX is 16.04. So if we start getting readings on the VIX above 25.97 or at 25.97, I will be looking to buy that fear trade and start positioning myself for a long move back up to, positioning myself for the VIX to break down, which means that the rest of the markets will get a lift. It's sort of a Brownian motion kind of thing, So yeah, that's what's going on with the VIX, and I'll play the SPY accordingly. Yeah, all right, and then there's Bitcoin. So Bitcoin just rolled over. There's these time frames. I have basically 3 months marked off in these time frames, and they're arbitrary. It's not like there's any fiscal sort of cycle to this. This is just 3 months out, 3 months out, 3 months out kind of thing, and it just seems like there's a change in behavior every 3 months. It seems like it just these dates just kind of demarcate where the next round of behavior will begin to develop. Coincidental, completely. Okay, so here we are this morning, and so there are basically no really good stocks on the long side this morning, although FedEx just popped up. Let's check it out real quick. Let's see what's going on with FedEx. Oh, that's a nice looking chart on earnings. 12-1. Okay. Here. So yeah, I'll put FedEx up there. I wish I had known about it prior to writing the pre-market the thumbnail for the video. All right. So as this moves, closer to the open, I'll move this, I'll adjust this as it gets closer to the open. And basically the trade here is a dip below the open and then a move back up is a buy. A dip below the 75 and a move back past the 75 is a buy. And then an average in between. If it goes as low as the 61.8 to 50% level, then there's an opportunity to average in between these two numbers for a move back up. I imagine FedEx, when it gets bullish, it tends to trade, and it doesn't look back. So when this thing really starts to move, I imagine that there might be a little bit of profit taking, perhaps at the open, because the broader market is just so. I don't want to say the broader market is bearish, because I'm not bearish, but the broader market, it's testing this breakup candle, the bottom of this breakup candle right here. It's definitely. Seeing if it can hold or not. And if it breaks down, if the SPY starts breaking down, then there's really nothing else that's going to benefit. The risk is to the downside, definitely, even on something as a behemoth like FedEx. So perhaps a muted upside because of today's broader market activity, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. Yeah, so I'll probably be a little bit more cautious. Like usually, I would take, let's see, on a $250 stock, I might take a maximum of like 200 shares. Today, I'll probably do like 50. So all right. Then let's see. Okay, ADGI. Now, fortunately, I managed to get. I was a part of ADGI's move yesterday here, and I say fortunately, it moved. Let's see. I guess it opened around $6.26 and made a move all the way up to 15. I got involved with it let's see, right, I think it was, yeah, it was about 11 o'clock where I got involved with it. It was hitting the scanner and making noise and stuff, and I didn't really pay a lot of attention to it, but it gave some really clean setups. Like here's this high at $8.34, and then it broke through it and really moved. I started paying attention to it right here and got involved with it for this move from 11 to 15. And I'm really glad that I was able to participate in it because was it CALT yesterday? What was it? I think it was, yeah, CALT here. I got into it right here at this, let's see, that's the 50% level right there. And I just got chewed up. Fortunately, I didn't take too much size on it. But I had to bail on this. It came down here and hit this level and then started to move up and started to fail again. And so, yeah, I lost like about $2 per share on this trade. So fortunately, that I was able to trade ADGI yesterday for this move and or this move over here and made some money on it. Really quite fortunately. And so today, I don't know, will we get continuation today? I don't know. So I'm watching 16, the high is $16.41, and I have an alarm. So if it starts breaking up over $16.41 today and does a move where it pops up, tests, and moves, then that'll be an entry for me. Let's see, then CALT. Yeah, I just kind of have this one on watch for today. Pre-market, my chart says it's at $23.08, but I'm looking at the level 2, and it's at $23.36. So it's up 74 cents pre-market. And the thing about this one that's I don't know, interesting to me, and the reason that I was holding on to this one for so much longer yesterday when I would usually cut losses much more quickly is because it received FDA approval for Tarpeo, which treats an infliction for people on chemo, basically. People who are on chemo experience some rather uncomfortable oral issues. Their mouth, I've forgotten, it gets tender and so on, and it helps with that. So they got an FDA approval, and it traded, actually the trading wasn't all that heavy. It was only 5.56 million shares of trading yesterday. And for example, ADGI yesterday, after it announced, I don't remember, and the news on ADGI isn't even all that big of a deal. Let's see here, the news on ADGI here is Omega Funds closes oversubscribed $650 million fund to invest in transformative life science companies. And it's kind of like, well, okay, whoop-de-doo, but it made that, investors apparently liked it. This is the first time I've ever seen anything like that. So, will it do it again today? I don't know. But so CALT, I was really expecting it to have a bullish day yesterday, but it really sold off. So it's possible this thing could go down even further today. I mean, really, of course it's possible. There's still a gap here at 21. The top of this candle is at 21.52. I'm just watching it. It popped through the 50% level, but then couldn't hold it. Not really all that bullish, but here it is. All right. So, and then there's GRTX, and GRTX actually had some pretty good news a few days ago too. And I'm keeping an eye on this one because it seems like small caps have come up with this new pattern lately. Let's see, the 14th of December. It corrected data. There was a data error. So if we go back, here's the daily. So it reported its end stage, drug development or whatever it is, and it didn't meet its endpoint goals, right? Well, so that caused it to drop from $7.39 down to $2 a share. Well, they corrected the data to show that, they did meet their endpoint study. They did meet the goals of their of their trials, and it really has had a muted response to having accomplished what it set out to accomplish. And on top of that, this is one of the largest volumes I've ever seen for a small cap biotech. 270, I'll call it 280, 279.45 million shares traded, or 280 million shares traded on the 14th of December. And this thing only put in a move here that was $1 move from bottom to top. It moved $1. So I'm just keeping an eye on this thing, because it seems to me that if it reported its in-stage data correctly here on the 18th of October, it would have headed up, right? So, I mean, I'm looking for this thing to at least fill a gap around, around $5-6, something. But I've got to wait for it to break out first, and it's just not doing it. I did manage to make a little bit of money on this on the 14th. So now I'm looking, for the next break. So, the next spot for it to really start breaking and moving continually higher is right there at $3.46. So actually, I'm going to get rid of that. Let me put the line back up, but let me put the alarm on the 10-minute. So if for some reason the daily, I don't know what's going on the trading view, but the daily alarms, just they'll there goes ADGI. The daily alarms will just kind of fire off randomly. Like it's like the next day. Oh, okay, yeah, this thing crossed, by the way. It doesn't do it in a timely fashion. So here's ADGI getting close to 1641. We'll see what happens. Let me put that alarm on GRTX on the 10-minute. Oh, already, okay, so I did have it. All right. And so then FedEx. So I'll just continue to move this Fibonacci on FedEx. Oh, wow, look at this old Fibonacci I had on it. Look at all those old levels. That's weird. Let's see. There goes ADGI. Yeah, it looks like ADGI will be a mover again today. I want to trade it regular hours instead of pre-market. So let's get rid of all those old levels there. Not relevant anymore. I thought I must have put a different Fibonacci on it, but it was in a different window. So let's go. All right. All right. Yeah, so that's the game plan. That's the broader market, the Bitcoin, the daily strategy. So, all right. Good luck out there, everybody. Click like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, tap the bell, and I will see you at the recap. I am out.